This and what you're about to hear is a perfect example of when PC doesn't know how to mind their business and when they take something that a black person does and blows it completely out of proportion. So this man's name is Mark Jones, in case you are unaware, and he is a broadcaster contributor to ESPN, much like that buck dancing sambo Stephen A. Smith, as everyone has been going in on Stephen A. Smith for the last few days, and I'm loving every second of it. Well, Mark Jones liked a tweet that Bishop Talbert Swan, and some of y'all are familiar with him, had tweeted about when it came to Stephen A. Smith. And I believe the tweet had a meme or gif of some raccoons. Y'all already know what that means. And he liked it. Well, for some reason, that is just so weird to me. People got upset because he merely liked the tweet. And they try to make it seem like it was a racial thing. Keep in mind, it's mainly, if not only, PC outlets and publications that are blowing this up more than what it needs to be. It shouldn't even been a thing. The man was just simply liking a tweet. So what? He liked the tweet. So now you can't be black and post a link via Kyrie. And now you can't like a tweet via Mark Jones. And y'all, this is all happening on Elon Musk's Twitter. You know, the Twitter that y'all jumped up and down and was like, oh my God, and going crazy for. The so-called free speech Twitter. Yeah, that one. But as you can see, the free speech isn't working for certain individuals. Hint, hint. Let me go ahead now and read this article coming from Fox News, of all places, because they're the ones that was one of the first to report it. ESPN NBA broadcaster Mark Jones raised eyebrows on Monday. He didn't raise my eyebrows when he liked a video on Twitter that blasted his colleague Stephen A. Smith using a racial epithet for defending Dallas Cowboys team owner Jerry Jones. Bishop Talbert Swan used a video of dancing raccoons to describe Smith's defense of Jones, which came Friday on First Take. Smith said Jones did not, quote unquote, deserve to be dragged through the mud after a photo showed he was with students trying to keep an Arkansas school segregated in 1957. Jones was in his teens at the time. By early Tuesday morning, Jones had unliked the tweet, but it had already been screenshotted on social media. My thing is this. So what? He liked the tweet and he shouldn't have unliked it. If he wanted to like it, so be it. They made a big deal out of this man liking a tweet. I wonder if it's because, one, this is a black man. Two, Stephen A. Smith is a black man, although I'm sure when he looks in the mirror, he probably sees something else, if he even owns any mirrors at home. Or is it because they both work in the same profession? He work for the same company. So I wonder if that played a part in it, but that's besides the point. So what? That's what Stephen A. Smith was representing at the time. That's really what he represents all the time. But they made a big deal about it. And what's scary about it is when they blow stuff up like this, it makes me worry that they're trying to come for these individuals' livelihoods. Because what if they just simply said, oh, we're going to have you take a little leave of absence because of you liking a tweet? Mind you, it was just a video of dancing raccoons. So now we can't even be critical. See, that's how knee deep that Stephen A. Smith has gotten with these people. To an extent, they'll give him some kind of cover, and they don't want us as black people to talk about it. But we are. You can't get all of us. You can't stop all of us. Jones was in the crowd consisting of white students attempting to deny access to 6 black students at North Little Rock High School. The event occurred just a few weeks before the Little Rock 9 integrated the Little Rock Central High School less than 5 miles away in what turned out to be one of the biggest moments in the civil rights movement. Jones has acknowledged that it is him in the photograph, but he says he did not participate in protesting the integration and looked on curiously without animosity. Again, like I've said before, why was he there? If you wanted to be an onlooker, you could have been across the street. It's not like you couldn't see what was going on from over there. You were there because you wanted to be in the mix. And we are going to stand firmly on that. And we are not going to simply just let that pass and let that go like they want us to have it be. I don't know that I or anybody anticipated had a background of knowing what was involved. Jones, now 80, told the Washington Post it was more of a curious thing. Jones has previously caused a stir on social media in the past. He mocked UFC fighter Colby Covington for suffering a broken jaw because he supported Donald Trump, and had fun at the expense of San Francisco 49er stars Nick Bosa after he suffered a torn ACL. Bosa also supported Trump. Notice that they're slipping that part in here about Mark Jones and how he apparently makes fun of the downfall of certain people who are Trump supporters. And of course, this is coming from Fox News, which is exactly why I read it, because I wanted you to see what angle they were coming at this with. So basically they're trying to say, oh, he's an anti-Trump supporter. You know, he's a left-leaning, he's a leftist, he's a liberal. You know, how they going to do it, how they going to spin it. But to make a big deal out of this man liking a tweet is absolutely absurd. Like, they trying to get this man caught up in some nonsense. Now, pick this up. Now, peep this. This is now the third person maybe that I've talked about in the last week that has been who is connected to the sports and athletic world, who is black, and a black man at that, who got caught up in some nonsense. I talked about Deshaun Watson in that Tony Busby situation. I talked about Lamar Jackson and that person trying to say that he posted an anti-gay phrase or epithet, which we know is clearly not. Now we have Mark Jones. I won't say Jackson. Mark Jones, who just liked a tweet, and now they're trying to come after him just for liking a tweet. That's 3 in a week. Like I said, they all contribute some way in the sports world. 2 athletes, 1 broadcaster on ESPN. All 3 of them are black men. You cannot tell me that there's not a pattern going on here. I'm sensing a pattern, and usually when I sense a pattern, my hunches are always correct. But they want to sit up there and they want to protect Stephen A. Smith. And that's exactly why Stephen A. Smith buck dances so hard in the way that he does, because you see the heat that Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson, and now Mark Jones are facing, and even Kyrie Irving. He's scared to fall into that trap. And he knows what that's like, because remember what happened a few years ago when he made that comment about Michelle Beadle and he almost got kicked to the curb. So he doesn't want to rock the boat anymore. And all he did was double, triple, and quadruple down on his samboisms. It took a turn for the worst. And it never went back and reverted to anything that could show him in a good light. That man is not shown good in any light at all, whether it's bright lights or dim lights. It's just not, it's not all good for him. But shout out to Mark Jones for liking the tweet, though. I mean, it is what it is. But they want to talk about free speech. This is an infringement right here, when you can write whole articles and hit pieces about liking a tweet that has absolutely, by the way, nothing to do with the publications that are writing it. Like, we know that the people over at Fox News or anyone else who wrote a piece about this, it has nothing to do with them. And I highly doubt that the person who wrote this is black. And I know they're not, because they have their name and their picture right here. This person's name is Ryan Gatos, PC man. And I'm sure all the other publications who wrote hit pieces surrounding this aren't even black their damn selves. But they got to find a way to slither and insert their ways into our situations. Listen, we are talking about Stephen A. Smith, another black man, and Mark Jones liking a tweet. He's a black man. And by the way, the tweet he liked came from another black man, but they had to make it seem like it was so egregious, such a villainy act in which this man committed. The way that they blew this up, they make it seem like this man committed a major crime. This right here is an infringement on quote unquote free speech. You know, the same free speech that PC says that they're losing. I need to know when's the last time a PC individual liked a tweet that just meant liking it, and they blew it up like this, and it infringed quote unquote on another PC person. Because I have yet to see it. I'm curious.